Okay, looks like we're only going to have 13 tonight then.
Hmm?
Looks like we're only going to have 13 tonight.
Are you having internet issues?
No, still fine today.
No.
Anyway, I thought you'd introduce myself, but welcome everybody to the JACKOCAR Kia series. Tonight is a very special night because across the whole of JACKOCAR, as everybody may know, is Throwback Week. Of course, this is the week where every driver, hopefully, will run a dedicated scheme to driver of the past or something that is close to their heart, obviously. As you see, we are loading in. We are racing in Imola today. This is the first ever JACKOCAR, first ever race at Imola held under the JACKOCAR name, as far as I am aware. And there's only 13 drivers with us tonight, and of course my co-commentator, who's usually a main commentator, but due to technical difficulties he isn't able to stream tonight, Liam, or Evil Dragon, and of course my name is Jamie Griffiths.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and do bear with me if I can't hear Jamie much, because his mic is about as good as a crocodile eating a kangaroo. There is the analogy today, with two animals that probably are never near each other, but there we are. I suppose, kangaroos, Australia, kangaroos in Australia, yes.
Australia's Australia. You never know what happens in Australia.
Yes, giant deadly murder spiders from the sky. They scare me. I will never go to Australia because I don't like spiders. And yet alone deadly, big, spidery, murderous ones. And you've got Thomas Never, he's just joined the room, 1996 of course. There he is, he was just joining a few minutes late, as also good to see. We will have a full grid of 15. We are missing Jess, of course, who is on holiday up in the north of England, slightly in Liverpool, who is celebrating her grandmother's 90th birthday. So happy birthday to them. We've also got two other birthdays to talk about. We have got is Risky. He is now 8 years old. And we've got Kaya, who is birthday. He is 3 today, so happy birthday to those two. They're gonna murder me now when they find out how old they are now. So there we are. Happy birthday, happy 8th birthday to Risky there. That's what we like to see. So the youngest, the youngest man ever racing so far. Maybe Jacko might be younger actually. Legend has it.
Yeah. So. Now we've got the birthdays out of the way, we can move on to the standings. Of course, we have a bit of an interval before the first car goes out on track. So the two drivers that have already advanced into the playoffs through wins are Jake and Yuri. Car number 43 and 98 have both advanced. They have won the first two races of the season. Then in the rest of the spots where it's all to play for, we've got Victor Souza or Vitinho in 3rd position. Then we've got Jacko in 4th, Matt Rosamond in 5th, Michael O'Sullivan in 6th, Barry Baldwin 7th, and then Leroy. I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing this surname here. Hasselager, yes. Thank you very much, Liam. He is 1 point above the cut-off line in 8th position. Then, below the cut-off line, the first driver in 9th position is Danny Quinn. Car number 45, he's on 15 points. He's 1 point behind Leroy. Then it's Sullivan or Risky in 10th, then Cameron Blair in 11th on 12 points, then we got Jess, who of course is not racing tonight, in 12th, Matt Tree in 13th, I believe he's racing tonight, 14th is Neil, unfortunately he is not. Then we have Isaac Evan, I think it's going 15th on 5 points, and then the drivers who have not scored a point just yet is Thomas Never, who joined us late, Noah Clark and Billy Watts in car number 30. So that is your current point standings as of the first two rounds of the season, and we should expect, if I can get the right information up here, the first run to occur in about a minute and a half, although the timing could be wrong for us, because it quite usually is, because co-masters, you know the deal by now.
Yes, most indeed. So, in just a few moments' time, and it sees that Thomas Nevert, who in the chat below says, looks like I'm stuck in spectator mode. Should be able to select a car, I think. Can you not, on the thing?
He might not be able to because he joined in quali, but it should put him at the back in the race. can imagine.
Maybe, I could select a driver, apparently. I can select Wilhelm Kaufmann. I'm not going to do that. Terrible idea.
It looks like the classic car drivers from games of the past have decided to make their way over into today's race.
Yes, they're invading us. It's like the great invasion of, I don't know, JACKOCAR right here. But here at Imola, a circuit which of course came back just a few years ago, and I can see we've got someone else. There we go, Thomas has jumped in now, so good to see he's managed to get in, I think, finally. So there we go, so I think he... he's left.
Never mind. That is AI
and here we are, and evil has cursed Thomas. He said he's got in and he's left. So there we are. We've got a first car coming on track, and that should be...
That is Gareth.
Gareth, there we go. See, we've got someone who can tell me who's coming out first. This is legendary. He is driving in as I get the figure of the cars and the driving hoop. They are in, as I find their name, Brian Hurt Autosport, the IndyCar, and that is 2011. That is Dan Weldon, of course. You do know Dan Weldon, 2011. That is, of course, the year that he tragically died. It was Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it was Las Vegas, because that was the race where they decided to bring Talladega type racing to IndyCar.
Yes, it did. It was my first IndyCar race I ever watched, and I regretted it, and I haven't really watched it since. So there's that. Seeing a car flying into a cat's fence, and then that happens. It's not really what an 11-year-old wants to watch. But
on a lighter note, though, the reason why he's running this scheme because in the same year, Dan Weldon actually won the Indy 500 with this scheme. Of course, he passed away with a different team and scheme, but this is the scheme that he won the Indy 500 with earlier that year with Brian Herter, winning it on the last corner after J.R. Hildebrand smashed the wall off turn 4. And if I can get the information about this scheme here, it will say Indy 500 winner. As Gareth goes to become the first driver to set a lap. Well, not set a lap, but start a lap rather. He gets down into the Tamburello chicane. The curves here are very menacing. They do tend to throw you off quite a lot, as I found out in time class. He's managed to make it through there just fine though, and now he's on his way down to the Villeneuve chicane. And after this chicane, I only know where the Variante Alta is, so this is going to be a bit of a nightmare for corner names. Torsen's Purple is the first car on the track.
Yeah, up into toast, so that is the hairpin. Then you come up into what I believe is Acma Generale, which is the corner which I can never pronounce correctly because it's Italian and I can't say any... I mean, I had a bad time trying to pronounce Dutch words last week, so here we are in Italy. Through into the double right-hander. This is the tricky thing. There used to be a chicane back there in the 80s, then up towards the chicane. This one,
I believe this is the Variante Alta.
Yeah, so I think this is the Variante Alta. Nice and smooth through there. The rear end slightly twitching on the rear, but he gets it nice and smooth through there. Then he comes down the hill. This corner, very difficult. Downhill braking. It's a slight kick to the right. There you can see all the villas, and it's beautiful, by the way. And then into the last corner. Fun fact about this circuit, of course, used to have a chicane down here, back all the way up the hill. I think it was quite recently, because they've changed it. Now it's flat out, and, well, he's the first man to set that time. That is a 1:17.5. Next on a lap time,
it's MK Bourne.
Yes, MK Bourne.
He is running a Ferrari, well, a throwback to the Ferrari 312C, which is of course the Ferrari which was used, from my research, from 1975 to 1980, but he's chosen the year 1977 with this one. Of course, the drivers of this car were Carlos Reutemann, the late great Carlos Reutemann, and the late great Niki Lauda. They both won the World Drivers' Championship, well, Lauda won the World Drivers' Championship, but both of them collectively won the World Constructors' Championship with the Ferrari. He set the fastest purple sector one so far. I can see him roughly there.
Yeah, up through into the left-hander, into Acmarale, and then straight down the hill into the double right. And the fun fact about the circuit as well, I haven't mentioned, because I'll talk through some of the changes as big thanks for the makes the German actually MK Bourne, if I'm not mistaken, but into the chicane. This circuit, very little has actually changed over the years. The only real changes, of course, is Tamburello, of course. If you know your history about this circuit, of course, 1994, the tragic incident in death of Ayrton Senna, of course. and the Villeneuve chicane, which, to popular belief, of course, Villeneuve did go off on. A lot of people think Villeneuve died at that corner. It wasn't. It was actually Rattenberger who went off there in '94 as well. But Villeneuve did also have a very big off down there in 1980, I think.
Yeah, 1980. That was the one year where this track actually won the Italian Grand Prix. And here's Thomas Nevitt, and that's a very similar scheme to what NK Bourne is running. It's a throwback to... No, that's not Thomas Nevitt. This is Thomas Nevitt. Sorry about that. It's a throwback to the very first VAR entry back in 1999. As you can see, it's the, well, it's more known as the zip car. The separate liveries, of course, VAR were meant to run 2 liveries for each car, one each, and the FAA did actually turn that down. So they ran this game, and he's going to come to the line. He sets a 118 flat, goes third. Of course, Jacques Villeneuve and Ricardo Zonta drove this game.
Yes, and what I can say about that livery, my personal preference of the real life livery is it makes me want to cry. It just aesthetically annoys me, but it is a very nice livery sometimes. Depends on who's driving it. I always like Villeneuve because I just like Villeneuve a lot. Who's next?
It's Isaac Edemir, car number 88. He has got the throwback to the 2021 Marcus Ericsson Chip Ganassi Husky Top Set team, which of course won 2 races in 2021 in IndyCar, most notably the Music City Grand Prix at Nashville, where Ericsson infamously flew over the back of Sebastian Bourdais and still went on to win the race.
Most indeed, so he of course is the next across the line. I'm looking through who's the next car, and I believe that's, I've seen who the next car is. Very nice. I can say much about the next car across the line in a minute because it's spicy. But King Edward crosses the line that where he can go 8P1, and the next one do that, and I can do this one. It is speed risky, and he is running a Lotus. I can tell you that much. That is, I believe that must be 1989.
1987.
It's 1987, so it'll be Senna, and I believe it was Nakajima back in 1987. Is that correct?
Satoru Nakajima, yes.
Senna
and he's been doing balance.
That car would have actually raced around this track, actually, in real life. In fact, it's the only other one I think it would have been, I think, of course, Indecisive, who's also invalidated his lap time. He's also, actually, have gone up very similar times to Risky, actually. Those two are very close together, but both of them, and of course, Indecisive, he's running, of course, livery dedicated to that. Also a Sunderland fan, also is based on the McLaren. It's red and white, it's beautiful, and I used to run this livery actually as well, and but it's a lovely little livery, I will say.
Yeah. There's no picture as well to done with it. The family passed away in 2020.
Next up, I believe I'm going to say it's Quinn. He is driving in 2008 or 9. I mean, both of them could work, I suppose. I mean, to be fair, it could be anywhere between 2007 and 2012. Maybe 2006, actually, I suppose. That's the first year it ran the Chrome livery, but that is the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes, Heikki Kovalainen and Lewis Hamilton, or if you want to say it, it could be also many other drivers, Montoya Raikkonen, it could have been Raikkonen, and also it was Della Rosa, Alonso Hamilton, of course. Button, Hamilton, and
Perez.
Yeah, with Perez as well. You forget about Perez, actually. But through the last corner, let's see Quinn, purple sector 1, purple sector 2. Let's see, comes to the line, take a nice shallow line.
And he's got pole anyway at the moment.
Next up is Hasselager, I believe. He is running a car which is red.
Yes, this is a throwback to the 2020 Ferrari Sf1000, the Mugello paint scheme that they ran on their 1000th Grand Prix. Of course, this car was not the best Ferrari in the world, it's probably one of the worst Ferraris we ever made, but it still managed to get 3 podiums, 2 at the hand of Charles Leclerc, 1 at the hand of Sebastian Vettel. Of course, this finished in the constructors. And I think the ridiculous point was Vettel with this car. Cancelara's going to approach the line here at 1:15.2. That is an almost second gap back to Quinn.
Yeah, an impressive lap time there. And the next car to do a lap time, that is, well, you'll know what this livery is. Very iconic. It is the R25, I believe, of course, Alonso and Fisichella. A livery that is very synonymous all the way from 2002, I believe it is, first started used all the way up to 2006. And it is one of my most favourite liveries. I adore this thing. I grew up watching the, sponsor is, but
Mild 7.
Yes, Mild 7 or the Teleconic livery, if you remember it from F1. But this is iconic. This is beautiful. It's in a pretty spot-on livery, I suppose, as well. Through the last two corners, I might enjoy watching this.
Yeah, you got over the bumpy curve there. That will not help on the curve. He goes 4. Yeah, ahead of Enfield in there, so he's beaten the 2 top drivers so far.
Yes, next up is Gwyneth, who's just invalidated, and you can tell me what his is.
If I can find his name. Oh yeah, that's right. It's a throwback to Justin Wilson's Andretti Autosport IndyCar. It's won 4 races. It's a throwback to 2015, but he's actually gone pretty wide here in the last couple of corners. This race car overall won 3 races in Justin Wilson's tenure at Andretti. Of course, this track can be well potential before he went off. It's a 123 flat, it's invalid anyway, from the start lap behind him, that's the senior, but I believe Jacko is the next across the line, and we all, well, I personally know what this one is. It's a throwback. Throwback to the late, great intimidator, Dale Earnhardt. His 1986 Wrangler jeans scheme. As a NASCAR fan, it's nice to see something like this on the track. And it's a pretty iconic scheme. Very similar, well, it is the same scheme that Daniel Ricciardo drove his NASCAR run in. This won the 1986 NASCAR Championship, and he goes second with a 1:15.9. And then the next driver to set the lap will be Bacchino, and he is running a throwback to the Sauber C31, which of course got a couple of podiums at the hand of Sergio Perez and Camille Kobayashi during the 2012 season, and this one the Malaysian Grand Prix that year with Sergio Perez.
Yeah, most certainly indeed. So I've just replied to some of the comments to see some people saying, why we can't hear Jamie. The reason we can't hear our good old Jamie is because his mic is from 1962. To be more accurate, right there is goes up to E3 Mac. There is reason for that, but it's okay. Right, next across the line, I believe the last across the line, that is I believe it's Bicolis. Right there, that is Ryan Race Yuri Atlanta, who is running the LMP1 livery, I must say, and I love LMP cars. I love all the liveries here. If I had to pick a favourite, I think it's the Renault. Because Renault and me, I just like that Renault. I like the McLaren as well. Through the last one, a bit twitchy on the rear end, but here comes Yuri, cross the line. Does it go P1? Yes, he does.
14.9, that's a great lap there from Yuri, and of course 15, like I mentioned to you before, actually reminds me a lot of a Brawn livery. And of course the final driver to set a lap will be Jake. He is running a throwback to the 2018 McLaren MCL33, which was driven by both Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Van Dorn, who sits in the World Constructors Championship, and of course I think it's the highest finish of 5th, I want to say, in Australia with Alonso. Yeah, so he'll be the last driver to set a time. I don't think it's going to be Paul, considering that he's setting this lap time on the mediums, and only one driver across the whole field has set a lap time on mediums so far, and that would be Jack. As Jake now approaches the final 2 corners, this will be the last lap of the session. At Inferno Turbo Chapter time there. As he approaches the line, it will be a 1:17.9 and goes 10th. So that's the championship leader, only 10th on the grid.
He didn't see Yuri in the chat. Get Leroy in cup, says Yuri, who's gone. There we go. So, little fun between those two. They're both. I think it's both brothers. I think it is. If I'm not mistaken.
You and Leroy are. Well, they got the same surname, so I would assume
they are brothers. Yeah, so the two brothers rounding up the top two. I was just. I always forget. That's one thing I always get mixed up between those two. I haven't mixed their names up yet. Fingers crossed this season completely. So we're getting there. I haven't called one like. Well, I suppose I could both call them Hasselager, and I both get them correct. But there we are. Both are Dutch. Of course, ahead of the Brazilian in third. Then comes two Brits ahead of the Swede, ahead of the Welshman, the German ahead of the American, and then the Brit ahead of the Scot, and the other Brit, and then the only Englishman on the grid, and then Newgarden, who didn't set a lap time with Risky and Indecisive. Of course, with our 14 of 16, of course, we are missing two. One is Jess, and the other is someone. It's Noah.
I want to say
actually,
it was Noah.
Yeah, it's Noah's not here.
It's a complete Hasselager front row, and of course, if you're new to JACKOCAR, which I assume that there's everybody who's watching the stream right now has at least raced in JACKOCAR or know the rules, of course. 2 mandatory pit stops. A new rule this season suggests that you are allowed now to make pit stops under safety car, but will not count towards a mandatory pit stop, so you still have to make a few pit stops under a green flag, so we've got to keep an eye out for that. No jokers here tonight, which is a change, because usually, of course, there's usually 1 or 2 jokers, but tonight there is completely none, so everybody is in the same boat. That's going to make things interesting, and we are now waiting for the race to start.
Yeah, I mean, everyone said I believe in Cup, a lot of people apparently had a joker or something around here, and legend has it. I don't know how true that is, but apparently a lot of people chose that, and everyone here had decided then, when they were told that a lot of people did that, no one's picked it, because everyone would guess. So there we are.
It's very typical.
It's very typical. Been a perfect opportunity to choose this track now. Then actually, it would have been. Because no one would have expected it, so then you could have got a free. But a one-stop around here is quite difficult, of course. The tyres vary depending on the strategy and, of course, and how your setup is. It can go off very quickly. But it is the Bicolis on the front row ahead of the Ferrari, which shot hard for a 2020 Ferrari was on the front row. Never thought I'd say that one ever.
It just finished second, I believe, once in the opening race of the season in Austria in the first. But, of course, I believe so, but that was mainly due to them being a race of attrition, and it was absolutely chaotic. So, this will lead us on the formation lap as we look down the field, and we're going to look at some of these wonderful fullback skills, I must say. They've done it good here in the Kia series. As I get over the information. In qualifying, I could not change the driver selection, so I had to do it manually because I was stuck on the course of Marino Lawson.
Yeah.
But now I can change it, so that's going to be useful. Yuri, of course, in the Bicolis, as you said, and then the Ferrari behind him. You probably wouldn't expect in real life, but this is the Kia series, this is JACKOCAR.
Yeah, Coutinho then in third position. He is driving in that Sauber, of course, ahead of Dale Earnhardt. Jacko Earnhardt, or Dale Jacko. There we go, in that lovely car. Then we've got Quinn in the McLaren. Kingan, of course, driving in the... We'll get there. This is me forgetting everyone immediately. This happens with me, of course. Then we've got, of course, the Renault. We've got MK Vaughan, who is driving another red and white. Everyone's driving red and white cars. We've got Gareth, who is driving in Dan Weldon. We've also got the McLaren, who is literally inside a VAR. We've got also Lotus down the back, which is pretty accurate for a Lotus, I suppose, of those time period. Indecisive in the livery, of course, with the McLaren, also Sunderland, and also for his Nan as well. So, the internet survived for me so far. Will it survive? I mean, we're on that tour apparently, so something's got to the game. Here we go then with 5 red lights, and it will be, in just a few seconds, lights out, and we are go. And it's a good start from Yuri. It looks like a good start for Vittino in the Sauber then. Let's see, are we going to make it? Sauber 1 and then by Collis as well. The Ferrari strips around the outside, and we've got a McLaren spinning round there, and 3 cars going off. It looks like the McLaren. We've got Quinn involved. We've also got, I believe, Kingham involved as well. So 3 red and white cars having issues already at the first stage of this race. But it's the Collis leads, the Ferrari second ahead of the Sauber. Then comes the Renault, a storming start there. And then all of a sudden the Lotus up into 5th position. What a stonking start there for Ayrton Senna. And then Dale Earnhardt slipping back into 6th position there. As I see there, Jack Villeneuve up the field. He's now into 7th ahead, of course, of Dan Weldon. We've got a car, and that there, Lou, is that? Oh no, the bike Collis is off.
At least be careful, these cars coming around that corner. Another one's gone up behind him, and Kingham's in the wall this time. He's lost his front wing. Is anybody else going to make that same mistake? Looks like everybody else has managed to get through the clean, but that's a big mistake from the bike Collis car there on lap 1.
And what this means is the 2020 Ferrari leads here in San Marino, and he's straight into the pit lane. That's a good call there. We've also got Ayrton Senna into the pits.
Yeah, getting those stops out the way as soon as possible in case of a safety car. Here's a nice battle down the field though. We're going to go involved with Gareth for this one. It's Thomas Nevitt versus Jacko in the Dale Earnhardt scheme. He has got nowhere to go into the Tamburello chicane and back wheeling.
Yeah, most certainly there with Jack Villeneuve chasing down Dale Earnhardt there for the battle between third and fourth. I'm going to do this the whole stream, by the way, there, and Jack Villeneuve slightly squiggly there. On there, behind him, of course, we've got Dan Weldon chasing up ahead of Fernando Alonso first, well, second actually. We've got 2 Fernandos. Stop with Vandal, we'll call him Vandal then, for the time being. There we are. There, of course, we've got Indecisive there, racing in 7th position, whilst we're looking through the field, of course. Up front it is now, and have we lost someone? Or is Sasalaga pitted, didn't he? Yes.
Yeah.
He has pitted last time. Missed it, and we've got Indecisive off. I think he's dropped it in that corner, catching a lot of people out. I've seen this before, that corner can catch so many out. You get it, such an unsettling corner. The rear end step, and that's so easy to do. We're going to see Kamui Kobayashi dive into the pit lane then here on lap 2. Yeah, Dale Earnhardt picking up his first penalty. He's not intimidated. Logan comes into the pit, and he is going for his first scheduled stop. We've got another one off down there. Who is that who's dropped it? It's the bike Collis again who's off there. And he is having no luck there as Lewis Hamilton passes him there up into 12th position.
Yeah, that's not a great start for the bike Collis car at all, as Jacko decided to serve one of his mandatory pit stops there. Just after he received the penalty. MK Bourne also has a penalty early on in this race as well. That's going to play dividends later on in the race.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of issues, of course, later on. Penalties around are very, very easy to pick up, so we'll be seeing 1 or 2 of them. But there we can see Leclerc ahead of Dale Earnhardt. There, I suppose, might call it better, I suppose. We haven't got another better car. They'll not decide to try and run a Red Bull, it's a shame. They could have ran the last year's Red Bull, the white one. I guess they could have allowed it because it was in the 2020 Ferraris. But no one did, and I'm sad. So no points to anyone for that one. They chose that and given a straight done. Keeping on circuit runner, it's in a few spinners. Kobayashi stays out for the time being ahead of Fernando Alonso, who is staying out as well. Then comes, which is a real surprise, by the way, so far, Jack Villeneuve, Thomas Nevitt, up in 3rd position. This is a storming drive from the BAR driver, and then, of course, getting chased down by Dan Weldon. And it's so good to see Thomas right now up into 3rd position, isn't it?
Yeah, and it looks like the bike Collis has gone off again for the 3rd lap in a row. At that double right-hander where it's just so easy to get wrong. It's risky now. Risky with the fastest lap. He's on the reset medium.
Yeah, Ayrton Senna then pushing onwards hard. He is chasing down Sebastian Vettel then in the Ferrari. And Vettel, well, you've got to be careful, of course. Ayrton Senna chasing him down. And, well, we are really throwing back. If we're not careful, I'll start commentating like Murray again. I mean, I can do it, but it will probably come out if someone grabs it. It normally does. But so far, only one issue on this circuit is that right-hander, of course. So easy to go off. Used to be a chicane there. He's riding aboard with Indecisive, and he's taking it nice and gentle through there. And that's Sebastian Vettel off the road. Hasselager off, and that might be the first safety car.
It is. Now the guys who've got their first mandatory stops underway, as we watch Badger hesitating, will he go into pits? He does. And the guys who got their first stop out of the way are looking like geniuses right now because they have been thrown right into the cat first seat. So Badger has non-mandatory pit stops. He's still got 2 to make.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Did he manage to time that correctly? Was he committed enough? I think you had a better view of that.
It looks like AK Bourne will follow him in. Will anybody else make it in? Everybody else behind him has made one stop, and Jacko's binned it under the safety car, going up towards the Ferrari Sf1000. That's a very odd place to go off.
How has he done? Has he been trying to warm his tyres up around there and dropped it? That is a puncture, right rear puncture. So he's ran over debris. Yeah, he's gone over the debris left by Sebastian Vettel then. And, well, I mean, we talk about the Ferrari driver there spinning it a lot. So, well, there's one. I suppose it can't be Leclerc, because Leclerc doesn't spin like that, apparently. But poor old Dale Earnhardt with a right rear puncture, and that is the last thing the Intimidator wanted.
Well, if there's anybody in this field that could win a race after being on 3 wheels, it's Dale Earnhardt. So
yes,
I won't count it out.
Well, Jill Villeneuve,
or maybe.
I suppose. But, I mean, he was literally on 3 wheels. It was here actually. I think. Well, he was on 3 wheels here.
The blowout, or a tyre blowout, is what caused it. They crashed down there. That chicane.
Terrible.
Jacko might actually be lucky if he stays on the lead lap here. Actually.
He's going to be this will be like cars here. I mean, NASCAR meets cars. I mean, you know, and he's coming out the pit lane. Are we gonna get a? I think he will be very clear. The safety car's going very slowly, but hit the cars music right here. This actually is getting a bit close. Is he gonna get lapped? I think is he just gonna come out? There's the safety car. Is he gonna beat it? Is he gonna beat it? Yes, he is gonna beat it. It is literally like cars right there, and that was so awfully close. And
like a movie.
Like the movie, Lightning McQueen there, Dale Earnhardt, he's got out just before the safety car. The tree just decides it wants to take the camera, but that was so close.
Yes, that was absolutely insane there from Jacko, and he's still got a chance to maybe salvage something from this race, but of course he's still going to make it back around, because sometimes the safety car does like to go without the last car. But meanwhile, Patino still in the lead. I would like to say that he's Sergio Perez, but he's got a red and white helmet, which is, of course, more leaning towards more Kamui Kobayashi. And I've seen a lot of Kobayashi clips actually on YouTube at the minute, so I'm guessing that's where that inspiration from.
So someone has broke the algorithm for the F1 thing, and it's beautiful. I tell you what this means is
you got to look to Kobayashi.
Yeah, Kobayashi's moves are sometimes some of them are brilliant. A little bit on the edge, but absolutely beautiful. I will just say that one, but like I said, yeah, Patino, he's still yet to stop. I'll go through it, of course, showing you who is still yet to stop. We've got Patino, Thomas, Gareth, Jake, Indecisive. We've also got, I think it is MK Bourne, still yet to stop, I believe. I don't think he did.
MK Bourne, I believe, he made a non-mandatory stop, like Arthur. So they both still got 2 stops to make.
Yeah, that's so MK Bourne, Bazza, and also Jacko, he's only on 1 stop. That's very cruel. He got that punch. Look, the safety car will stay out a little longer, of course. So he's going to be what he's doing right now is staying out for a very long time on that set of hards. That's a clever strategy. He'll go to around about lap 20, I imagine, and then chuck on a set of supers, and that should get those last couple of laps potentially. So there is.
What I've noticed actually is that safety car is really fast on the front straight, and that's what might have made it close between Jacko and the safety car.
Yeah, it's a quick boy, isn't it? I mean, it is the AMG Mercedes, of course. It's a lovely thing. It's, of course, not the Aston Martin. I prefer the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
But it is still a nice car in its red colour scheme, though it's... Maybe we'll get a Ferrari safety car again. We're used to around here, of course. The Italian circuits, they always have there's a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. Always used to run around. Until 1993, we got a standard safety car. That was the Mercedes.
Yes, and also going back to the note on Jacko's puncture earlier, of course you mentioned it as clear. That is the whole point of having simulation damage in this league. So Jacko may have been pleased to see that kind of change. Of course, not for this season, but for the last one when they introduced the damage model. It just came into effect. So yeah, cruel, but it's a part of the league.
Yeah, it's cruel, but realistic, and he will catch up to the back of the field as well. Tell me, this is actually kind of hurting everyone else, him doing this. Because, let's say that the safety car's had enough of him.
That can actually harm Jacko, because I found out you can actually put at least, about 100% on your R2 button, and it will not go full throttle. And that's what's happening here. It's like it's a limiter or like some sort of restrictor on the car when the safety car is going in. That if you press down full throttle, it doesn't actually go full throttle. So that could harm him. You might not make it, but of course you got to take it to the line here in JACKOCAR.
Yeah, that's the thing there. And well, I talk about limiters with NASCAR. There we go. Limiters with NASCAR in the late 80s. But let's go and see we are going. And that looked like a few people got very caught out there. A lot of people got caught out there. It's a bit of contact. It looks like contact and McLaren. And there, Gareth Hall going up the inside. There is the Sauber remains. And that all very much got a bit close there in turn number one. And we've got no! Off goes there is. Oh, and they all survived. There's one car off. Is there more? Thomas Nevitt in the wall. There is that rotten luck for Jack Villeneuve there. And Ricardo's on for, I suppose, there. But you can see there on the outside, Ayrton Senna. He could win this race by the virtue. He is now got a gap here to everyone else. And surely we're going to see a lot of these people have to stop come diving into the pit lane right immediately. But up into third position, Ayrton Senna.
Coutinho got a penalty.
Vitinho with a 3-second time penalty there, James. And, oh God, your mic has fallen off. Oh dear Lord.
It needed charging. I think that was essential. Okay, so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've got to see some drivers diving at the end of the lap. We've got a side-by-side battle. That's a send from a mile back, and it's not going to work for passing in the gravel. Meanwhile, at the front, Vitinho does pit at the end of the first lap on the restart. Wow.
Oh, it's just going from bad to worse here and now. Here comes
the inside. In the back.
Yeah, look at this, Jacko. They're 3 wide up the road as well. Newgarden, Kingan, and we've also got, I think that's Quinn going side by side, outside line as well for the bike. Collis car. Here comes the Renault, though. Holds the inside line, gets it back then after getting rather shoved off the road. Indecisive dropping behind MK Bourne in the battle for 4th and 5th position, running wide there as well. It's Fernando Alonso. Here comes the bike. Collis trying to sling one around the outside. It'll be free around the outside here. He'll have to slightly lift off. Indeed, he does so because around the outside is Acura and Harley. Very, very difficult to do so in the best of times, and yet alone in these very heavy 2021 Formula 1 cars. Meanwhile, Ayrton Senna now up into 2nd position, having a storming drive. Then it's risky, and from where he started all the way up, it was 40-30 from the grid. He's now in 2nd.
Change of position there at the back. It's Bowser going side by side with Newgarden. That didn't work out for him at this corner last time, but this time it will. He's got the braking right up his way. But meanwhile, the battle for the lead. He doesn't have DRS this time, does Senna or Risky, but he has enough slipstream to maybe pull it side by side. Going into Tamburello, Risky to the inside. He's going to take the lead away from Gareth.
And into the lead, Ayrton Senna then here on lap 10 of 32 here in San Marino. And what storming drive then from the young Brazilian driver ahead of the grizzled Englishman there of... it is, of course, Dan Weldon in 2nd, ahead of Stoffel Van Dorn in 3rd, and then, of course, MK Bourne in 4th position, who is the that McLaren?
It's the Ferrari, I'm pretty sure. It's the Ferrari,
It's Lauda.
1977. Yeah.
Ahead of Niki Lauda in fourth, ahead of course of Lewis Hamilton in fifth position. This is like to win. Oh, Universe Indecisive really having to go up, and Kingham will have to give that position back, I feel. I feel Kingham will have to give that position
Jacko
back.
behind him looks to extend it. Looks like he may have run a bit wide there, but Basil's going to have another shot to maybe get it down at the penultimate corner here. It looks like it's very defensive though.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to see Alonso diving up the inside there, but...
Oh, they both off in front of them.
Both of them off the road there.
And he's got a penalty.
Yeah, Basil, they're both going to come in the pit there direct on the two. Good idea for the pair of them then. So Basil, you still have to stop. Of course, Fernando Alonso staying up for his meantime. Here is Newgarden battling away with Dale Earnhardt up the inside. Then comes the legendary driver, and Dale Earnhardt up into 7th position at a lovely drive there from the 7-time NASCAR champion. A little bit twitchy, of course. He'll have to stop one more time in this race, as well as everyone actually has to stop one more. I think Yuri actually, he doesn't have to stop again, I believe. So he is good to go to the end.
Yuri, yes, this is the second stop he's making right now, and Kingham, they're both making their second stops.
So they are
hitting on the safety car.
Yeah, we're certain as well. So
there.
who is doing what so far as we ride through, as I look through the field.
And look at MK Vaughan, he's inviting himself into this new battle right now. Almost in DRS range. He might actually be in DRS range, but the detection point is right there. Oh, he's in the gravel, that's going to cost him a few tenths. Actually, no, it didn't really.
Yeah, Niki Lauda then pushing on hard, and let's see, can he try and chase down the young Englishman there of Dan Weldon to challenge Ayrton Senna in the lead of this race? Well, he's not close enough yet. Dan Weldon with the DRS, of course, a little bit of a slide there in Tamburello for Ayrton Senna. We don't want to be seeing that Senna doing in Tamburello against Sunshine. But Lauda pushing on.
Yeah, Jacko is looking for a move on 6th place battle there, but Fernando Alonso, livery as indecisive, makes a wide moment there, but Coutinho did just set the fastest lap on fresh softs, so he's going to be catching up to this battle maybe in a couple of laps as long as he doesn't wear those tyres out.
Yes, this is turning into an enthralling battle. James Hunt there joining me in the commentary box. My name, Murray Walker now. There we go, this is going to mean your name does begin with J. Yes, it's going to try. I'm going to be like screaming in the background like it was in Silverstone in 1986.
Not sure.
I do remember, of course, and then I remember it was when PK did that move on Manchester. It was 86 to 88. I can't remember. 87 or 86. Well,
regardless, look at MK Vaughan.
Yeah, here it is, Niki Lauda then, with the DRS. Wouldn't thought I'd say this one, but let's see, is Dan Weldon got anything in that IndyCar? Here comes the Ferrari, and the 1977 Ferrari powers past the 2011 IndyCar, and that really shows the might of these Formula 1 cars, and now he can go chase after Ayrton Senna versus Niki Lauda. This is a real battle, of course, which we would have seen in real life, actually, I suppose, for a few years, 1984 and 1985, of course. Lauda was still in the sport.
One of the moments that put Senna on the map in Formula 1 was just move on Lauda in that wet race in Monaco in 1984 to take the podium spots away from Lauda.
There, indeed, a race, of course, which very dramatic, and not many people realise it. Stefan Belloff, of course, who no one is running a Belloff livery, was catching Senna around about 3 seconds a lap. Had that race carried on to the end, he might as well have won that race, because Senna was catching Prost at 2 seconds, Belloff was catching Senna at 3 seconds. That really showed the pace of Stefan Belloff, who was unfortunately car at Spa, of course, in the World Endurance Championship, or the World Sports Car Championship. That was, I believe, in the late 1980s, but MK Vaughan been a time. Now remember, he does have to stop though. Once more, he is on the softer compound tyres, is Niki Lauda.
I think MK Vaughan needs to stop twice actually. He had a non-mandatory stop.
Ah, yes, you're right. But here it is, Niki Lauda then into the lead, passing Ayrton Senna into Tamburello, and a simply lovely move there. Senna doesn't want to fight, but Senna slides, and my goodness, there he's just about caught it.
It's a great straight there from Risky, aka Senna, and that might leave him now in the grasp of Gareth, aka Dan Weldon, in the 2011 Brian Herter car. This is just amazing. There's also the element of strategy thrown into this race as well. We don't even know who's going to win this race this year.
Well, yes, most certainly. Ayrton Senna must have the best opportunity. Of course, the next one, Lewis Hamilton, in the only other car in this group who has technically only got one stop left. We've got Stoffel Van Dorn behind them. We've got Jacko. He's got to stop, I believe, once more as well. So there's a few cars here with different strategies, but Lewis Hamilton there chasing after Ayrton Senna. That's a thing I don't think I would say before. Those two are on legitimately the better strategy right now, by the virtue they still have to stop there. Ayrton Senna picking up a time penalty.
And that could put in the hands of twins, aka Lewis Hamilton, later on in the race, unless he gets the penalty himself.
And in comes Stoffel Van Dorn then, or Fernando Van Dorn, we've got Alonso. Here's Dale Earnhardt pass. Talking of Alonso, there he is, chasing down Dale Earnhardt, and these two are going to go around it, of course. Well, no one's going to intimidate Fernando Alonso, who goes past Dale Earnhardt and up into 5th position there for the Spanish driver, of course. He still has to stop another 2 times. Jacko, of course, has to stop another 1 time in this afternoon's race. And then behind we do have Newgarden, and then we've got Vitinho. Jake comes out of the pit lane in nice clean air ahead of Kingan. Ryan Racer, still, well, yeah, Kingan, of course, Ryan Racer, those two can go to the end of this race. Never and indecisive.
The VAR and indecisive, a combination of 2 different types of paint schemes or football kit in this instance, and indecisive will make it past Thomas Nevitt in the VAR.
Yeah, but VAR Honda there, passed by, well, I suppose the McLaren Honda in some instances there. I mean, we're thinking about what year 1989. So yeah, it would have been. I see Thomas running a little bit wide, but I think it was it Honda for VAR in 1999?
I think it was Supertech actually.
I think they Supertech all there as in comes MK Bourne.
Yeah, so that would be his first mandatory stop. He's got another one to do, hence why he's on a set of mediums, so it should probably be soft then on his second stop, barring any safety cars. Yes, and I think that will probably, I think that will be a second. Actually, no, because Baz has stopped at the same time as MK Bourne, and he's got a lane change actually today. So he's hit that wall. He's hit a wall somewhere.
Rotten luck there, Fernando Alonso, and we've got Van Dorn off the road, and this is going to allow. Here is Kingan going to be coming to the right,
that's going to be easy hitting for sure, Martin. Yeah. Although no DRS this because he was way past the detection point at the time of the spin, and Y Racer also now in this battle. Jacko picks up yet another time penalty. He's going to make another stop as Basso is going to come out right behind this battle on stop. I should imagine he'll be able to catch this battle pretty soon.
Yeah, most certainly, as it seems we've fallen over. Something happened. Have you fallen over, James?
That was just the charger disconnecting. Nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. James, we've got a charge on James hung up. In comes Ayrton Senna, in comes Dan Weldon, in comes Lewis Hamilton.
Jacko is going to take the lead of the race here momentarily before he makes his stop. And Dale Earnhardt to the lead.
Well, Dale Earnhardt leads here, as also there comes, that is Komori Kobayashi into 2nd position. This is like F1 All-Stars right now. And I tell you what, Niki Lauda really has the big advantage. He has to stop once more, remember, so he is going to be in a different race. But the real battle here, I suppose in instance, is the battle between Ayrton Senna and Lewis Hamilton right now. That is, those two, they do not have to stop again in this race. So that is really the believer battle here between the man who idolises Ayrton Senna versus Ayrton Senna, who probably didn't know Lewis Hamilton existed, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yes, but also what starts for Weldon in this battle as well. Weldon coming out in the first set stop. He's going to be quicker than Senna momentarily here for the next couple of laps.
Yeah, of course, remembering Weldon does still have to do his final stop in this race, so a lot to see, but let's see, is Senna going to fight it? Well, we know he's a racer, of course, the Brazilian maestro. But, of course, he doesn't want to throw it away because Lewis Hamilton following not too far behind. And we have got... That is the...
Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah, Marcus Ericsson there. Did Ericsson hit us? Maybe. Who knows?
In the BAR, there's Villeneuve or Thomas Nevitt also gaining behind him as Newgarden picks up a penalty there on his outlap. He's on a fresh set of the medium tyres. This field the field spread is pretty close right now if you look past the front three cars.
Yeah, but certainly, yeah, the front three cars, so we had to stop.
Senna hanging on to that thing there as he came out of Tamburello.
Yeah, Senna really struggling there at Tamburello. I mean, it's not a corner he likes very much. I mean, let's be honest. But nonetheless, moving swiftly on, we've got Fernando Alonso, who's just got past, of course, the car of the bike class. I think he drove the bike class again, actually, I can't remember.
It would have been 2019, but the drivers would have been noted.
And, sorry, we've got a car off there. Who's that who's dropped it? And that is Niki Lauda.
Lauda.
And Niki Lauda, for whatever reason, he's dropped it. He's now behind Lewis Hamilton there, up into 5th position. And Niki Lauda has blown his chances of winning here in San Marino. And yes, he still has to stop at that very much, a cruel blow. His chances there is Dale Earnhardt dropping behind Kobayashi there, who now takes the lead here in this race. And we've got there another car, and that must be indecisive. We've got Alain Prost now having an issue, and Lauda and Prost all having troubles down there. I mean, they were teammates, of course, in 1984 and 1985, respectively. And, well, I've definitely got into Larry mode now because my voice has changed.
Yes, and also to update you on the driver of the Bicola side, Oliver Webb. Personally, I don't know who Oliver Webb is, but there you go.
WEC driver. That's all I know right there. Van Dorn in 7th. We've got Alonso chasing him there in 8th, ahead, of course, of Webb in 9th. Then we've got Newgarden in 10th position, of course, which is, I believe...
Justin Wilson, I believe. Yeah,
Justin Wilson. Of course, former Formula 1 driver, 2003, I believe, he raced in his early season. Of course, IndyCar tried to
and he still raced 2015, I believe it was, when he hit the debris off Sage Karen's car.
Being there, as you can see, Kingham really having some trouble there.
Oh, that's got to move. Coming out that double right-hander, that's a place where you don't see him move often. Looks like Marcus Ericsson could be struggling with that car after that spin because he's gone wide, and the 2-0, also known as Kobayashi, is pitting again.
Yeah, here comes Kobayashi. Yeah, he's not going to do one more stop as well. He's been very close here with Van Dorn coming into turn number 1. I think he might just have that. Does the Japanese driver? Yes, he does. From the Belgian, Fernando Alonso chasing them down as well, of course. In terms of stops, we do have one. We've got a few still yet to stop. We've got Jacko still needs to stop. Gareth. We've also got Jake needs to stop. MK Bourne needs to stop, and also we've got Bava needs to stop once more. And well, I'm talking about later on. There he is. With a penalty.
I believe Senna is actually put onto Dan Weldon there, as Nevitt and Villeneuve rather, and the BAR has lost it out of Tosa. I presume he must have got a bit wide there on exit, and there's more off. That's the Bicola start again, and another one behind him, Ericsson.
Yeah, Webb and Ericsson, they're both struggling. In meanwhile comes Dale Earnhardt there for his final stop of this afternoon with his free-stop strategy. I tell you what, there he's going to come out right behind, I think, this gaggle of cars here with Kobayashi. We've also got, of course, the McLaren of Van Dorn. He'll be awfully close as well coming up the pit. There comes Fernando Alonso passing as well. And Alonso trying up the inside there of Van Dorn. Van Dorn covering very well. Alonso riding those curves extremely hard, can't quite do it. And now you'll have, of course, hard on those fresh tyres with some 12 laps to go. But up front, with Bottas, of course. Ayrton Senna closing up to Dan Weldon. Dan Weldon struggling on those tyres. Senna going to the end of this race. Lewis Hamilton behind as well, looking like he will follow his idol home at this current stage. Next up, of course, it will be, I believe, Kobayashi, who is in that third position by net virtue.
And then it would be Van Dorn and then Alonso, but Van Dorn and Alonso, of course, Alonso in qualifying against Van Dorn, beat him, I believe, in every race they were teammates. In 2018, I think they were. 2017, I believe Van Dorn did beat him a few times. But don't count out Dale Earnhardt in that battle as well.
Yeah, this is it's like F1 All-Stars. Motorsport All-Stars right now here. Today, here we see Fernando Alonso, DRS open. Which way is he going to go? Left or right in his Renault? He's going to go to the right-hand side and swoops round then. Does go Fernando Alonso up into a sixth position for the time being. We've got 11 laps to go. Van Dorn, though, gets a good exit there. We've got, that is Alain Prost, I believe, going off again.
Yes, that was coming out of the Variante Alpha, so he must have had a moment over the curb there.
Yeah, most certainly that. So, or Sunderland, I don't know many Sunderland players, to be honest.
Jermaine Defoe, maybe?
Maybe Alain Prost. Let's say over the name like that, so there we go. But we're having some fun here on the Culture Box. I hope you are enjoying it as well. Ayrton Senna dropping back ever so slightly now, gap down to 1.5 seconds to Dan Weldon. Dan Weldon, we expect to be in, I think, this lap shortly. No, stays out.
There's not much longer you could probably hang on to in soft tyres, but if there's anybody who can make it, it's probably Dan Weldon. Because IndyCar drivers known for setting their strategy and making things last. Dale Earnhardt has managed to catch back onto Stoffel Van Dorn, meanwhile, in 7th position, and Van Dorn is actually going to go to the pit.
Yeah, Van Dorn's had enough of you there. He's found, I'm not getting overtaken here by Dale Earnhardt. I've been overtaken by Fernando Alonso. I'm not being overtaken yet again. Dives into the pit lane right there, and he'll come out well behind that. He'll come out behind Ingham in the Ericsson car. So he's going to be right down the back of the field, nearly there in 11th position. He'll come out ahead of Indecisive.
Yeah, there's quite a big gap there.
14 people started this race. We've got 13 still in it, of course, after Sebastian Vettel dropped it earlier on, of course, which is sad for me because I like Vettel a lot, and well, he's gone. So there is that one. But Ayrton Senna, what we can say about the Brazilian on his comeback to Formula One from his sabbatical, he's like been teleported, just like the Spider-Man, if you haven't watched it. I mean, it's like old timelines here. He's teleported back as well from 1986.
Yeah, we also got a very nice camera angle there, helicopter camera angle. Then saw it all the way through sector 2, pretty much.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. Looking good, and that will get the DRS on Fernando Alonso, and Alonso's going to yield this time, so it looks like they're not going to get any tackle for him.
Yeah, well, everyone's getting intimidated by him. They just don't want to be overtaken, I suppose. The great intimidator in sixth position will get another one from MK Bourne. You'll get one more potentially from your race leader, who might be a bit close between those two, to be fair, but I think maybe just. So, Dan Weldon, who we believe surely will stop this lap. There, Ayrton Senna, another time cut. I tell you what, this is really coming into Lewis Hamilton's favour right now. Lewis Hamilton here might actually jump Ayrton Senna by virtue of that the gap between them, 5.2 seconds. Senna needs to get a move on there.
Yeah, Senna has shown that he is quicker than Lewis Hamilton, but of course, I see Hamilton actually pulled 2 tenths back on Senna through the Variante Alpha. It's just not done yet with about 8 laps left to go. Weldon's going to stay out for another lap here.
Dan Weldon staying out a long time in this race, and well, he's going to stop eventually, we know that much, but how long will he go? Is he just waiting to see an incident happen? But it's a risky one, because you don't want to do that. That's Jake a penalty, as in comes MK Ball.
So Lauda into the pits, and as I predicted earlier, he is going to go into a set of stops here to the end. It's going to be interesting actually to see whether he come out in front of the Bicolos car of Oliver Webb and Justin Wilson.
He's behind them.
He's going to be behind them, yeah.
He'll be near Marcus Ericsson, I believe.
Yeah, Christian Livingston doesn't get knocked off right until that point there. It's a long pit exit. And as you see, here comes Ericsson. He's not going to have the chance to make a move into turn one, as Lauda will have that position. And now he can set his eyes on Justin Wilson and Oliver Webb in the Bicolos car.
Yeah, most certainly. Everyone has a penalty, by the way, bar, of course, Kobayashi, who's driving a stellar job right now. Lewis Hamilton, who hasn't got a penalty right now. Of course, that is very simply predictable there for Lewis Hamilton. Closing up now on Ayrton Senna. Of course, we are still rating for Dan Weldon, who dives into the pit lane right now. From presenting the race leader, he'll go on another set of soft tyres to the end of this race. Should come out ahead, of course, of the Bicolos of Webb, and of course, presumably as well, of his fellow IndyCar compatriot of Justin Wilson.
Yeah, it's also a battle for the final top 10 position here between Van Dorn and Alonso.
Yeah, Alonso and Van Dorn, that's a little throwback there, isn't it, between the two former teammates. But in this universe, of course, Fernando Alonso, the two-time world champion, I believe, it's the 2006 or 2005 running.
2005, I think, it's the R25.
The one-time champion then, Fernando Alonso, here against Stoffel Van Dorn, and Van Dorn easy pickings there for the much quicker, was it V10, I suppose, that car actually, 2005 last year. We ran that, of course, and then it was the V8, and then, of course, 2014, the V6 turbo hybrid, which are actually, I believe, the longest serving continuous power unit in Formula 1 history right now. In terms of it not having a regulation.
Yeah, because I think by the time the regulation changes do come into effect with the engines, there will be about 12 years of the V6 turbo hybrid. Of course, the engine regulation is going to change in 2026, and that will be interesting. I don't even know how to.
Yeah, that V8, of course, that was 06 to 2013. That's when that came in. Of course, the fun fact, by the way, with the V6, they were forecast to come in 2012. Not many people remember that, but of course Mercedes developed their hybrid and all that in 2010, and Senna! My goodness! Senna's dropped it, and Lewis Hamilton takes the lead here, and by goodness, Senna, he's blown his chances of winning here in San Marino, and well, that is a real surprise there. Senna, a momentary lack of justice, and therefore there is Alain Prost there, taking advantage. He's been lapped, trying to come through, but Senna, my goodness.
That was truly unbelievable. Senna did not put a foot wrong all day up until that moment. Of course, the last couple of laps of the race, which he needed to push to get that gap to Lewis Hamilton, is not going to count for anything now, as Lewis Hamilton is well clear of him.
Yes, Lewis Hamilton then here on lap 27 of 32 is really truly why he is resounding the greatest of all time here, even in JACKOCAR. He started, we'll have a look where Lewis Hamilton started, 4 positions up, Senna up 10 positions. Driving outstandingly so far. As you can see there, Alain Prost unlapping himself there, and the Brazilian, I imagine, is absolutely livid.
Yeah, anybody who's going to unlap Ayrton Senna there, it has to be Alain Prost. And now he's got Kamui Kobayashi in his wing mirrors. This is going to be an interesting battle, because I believe we got the same amount of penalties. Of course, I'm going to leave it to the last lap.
They do not, you are, it's 3 and 6, so Kobayashi there, he has a chance of gaining on Ayrton Senna, he just needs to stick with him, but like we say, a mistake there from Ayrton Senna, and very well near unseedable, and Anderson and Alain Prost are getting blue flags, but he's not moving over, and well, this bitter rivalry between Prost and Senna, continuing on here in JACKOCAR.
Oh, and Lauda shoves Oliver Webb off the road there for P6. that was pretty hard fought. I don't think that battle will be over for now. It's about Kobayashi versus Senna, because Prost is definitely not doing Senna any favours right here.
Yeah, but certainly Alain Prost here, really not doing anything. Ayrton Senna with the DRS, he's going up the inside. Look at him, he's gesticulating to him. Move over, he says. What are you doing? And now he's getting out of the way there, straight away of Kobayashi, and really holding up Ayrton Senna there. And well, this is really surprising here. Prost, he has clearly got some issues with Ayrton Senna. Of course, we know they're bitter rivalry, of course, and Kobayashi now chasing down the Brazilian. Both of them, of course, very aggressive. They're behind, meanwhile, the battle between...
Ericsson versus Alonso, and Alonso may get ahead. Also, of course, infamously, Alain Prost walked out of McLaren at the end of 1989 after he said that it's impossible to work with Ayrton after their collision in Suzuka.
Very much proving it right now, not working with him whatsoever. But it's all about Senna trying to do anything against Kobayashi. We have got 4 laps to go here in San Marino. And Lewis Hamilton, meanwhile, on his merry way for yet another victory then for the Englishman, at this point, the one-time world champion, of course, in the timeline, of course, 2008.
Yes, and Kobayashi does have the DRS here on Senna. This is going to be... He's going to run out of DRS, but he's still going to make the move anyway. The switching is too strong down the front straight here at Imola. Kobayashi into second on the track.
Yes, Kobayashi, the Japanese driver there, passing Ayrton Senna there in third. Behind them, by the way, we've got Dale Earnhardt. He is catching these guys at a rate of knots, because he has that 6-second time penalty, so it might mean squibbly dots, but he is catching.
This is on the lower set of mediums as well, so it'd be interesting to see if we can maybe make those mediums, soft rather, go all the way. They are pretty long. 8 laps is a long time to go on soft as it is.
Yes, most certainly there behind you can see Niki Lauda. Well, he's a little bit further behind. He's got Webb, who he dispatched earlier on. Behind them there, we do have the fun little battle between Alonso and it is Justin Wilson. A battle, of course, which we did see a kind of potentially 2003. They did race together.
Yeah, and also Van Dorn American behind.
Yeah. This is like Timothy right now. We've got battling Alonso really getting up behind Wilson right
Ericsson.
now.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt there. Ericsson is alongside, goes Alonso. Ericsson at the moment there at the last corner, but side by side is a variante. Struggling to fit one car through there, never mind 2. But Alonso is going to try and make it worse. Wilson got the better exit off the corner, and he's going to stay behind for a couple more corners, surely.
Yeah, lifted off the wily old fox there, Fernando Alonso. He'll get the DRS, of course. A bad exit, but he should be fine, of course, with the DRS. He should be able to close right up here on that 31 now, with just over 1 lap to go here. Fernando Alonso, left, right. He's going to go left then to the inside, and Fernando Alonso then up into what is 7th position in this race. With his 9 seconds though, so it will immediately have the penalty drop behind them, of course. Everyone nearly has a penalty, bar 1, of course. As we've mentioned, Lewis Hamilton, who will start his fun lap of this race, as out comes Andrew Webb in this race. He is now stopped then yet again for another set of soft tyres. But up front, 1.4 seconds, gap closing here a little bit right now.
And that's the Kobayashi as well. That's the Kobayashi. So that could be interesting. Well, actually, he's not going to pull out a 3-second gap on the last lap, surely, but these seem crazy things happen.
Lewis Hamilton
started. The white flag is out.
Yes, Lewis Hamilton then begins the final lap of this race, and we've got there. Who's that? Is that Ericsson who's dropped it there? Well, that's a real zone there for Marcus Ericsson, who's gone off the road. He was battling with Stoffel Van Dorn, but he's gone off. Up front, though, of course, we'll look at him here. We'll keep the eye on between these 2 drivers. That is, of course, Kobayashi closing in on Lewis Hamilton. But Lewis Hamilton there, so far, all he has to do is keep it on the road, and he will win here the San Marino Grand Prix here in Imola, a track, of course, which I don't believe he ever won, actually. I think he had one, actually. Yes, he did.
He won 2020, didn't he?
Yeah, and he won the 2020. Of course, in this timeline, he hasn't raced around here in F1. In fact, well, none of the drivers have, apart from a few of the old guys and Alonso. But here we are then, Lewis Hamilton, he has Kobayashi right up his
This is going to be a
backside.
photo finish, depending on penalties even.
Yeah, it'll be very close. It'll be photo finish potentially. But Lewis Hamilton then, through the last corner, he had one left to go. And Lewis Hamilton, by virtue of not making a mistake, he wins here in San Marino. Kobayashi alongside him in second. Ayrton Senna there in third position. He'll be livid after that mistake. Dale Earnhardt across the line in fourth, but will drop down to fifth as Dan Weldon will get that fourth position. Earnhardt in fifth, and then of course we are waiting for Niki Lauda to cross the line then in sixth position, followed by Fernando Alonso there, I believe it should be, who will cross there. He won't finish there though, I don't believe. I think Van Dorn will jump him, which will infuriate the Spaniard, but there we can see that. And Wilson. And Wilson as well. Alonso demoted down to ninth. And we are now waiting on Marcus Ericsson and also
he's got wings damage. Andrew Webb is going to pass him. He's going to get Ericsson on the line.
And here we are, as you say, they're going to be side by side across the line. And it is Kingan.
Got him on penalties.
Yeah, well, penalties. Right, race in 11th. We are waiting on Jack Villeneuve and also Alain Prost to finish this race. Alain Prost is already finished. We're just waiting, of course, then on the car of the proverbial Jack Villeneuve, who crosses the line right now.
That was a pretty decent race, wasn't it?
Most certainly there, James. Right, back to normal. And that there is the old slow commentary here for JACKOCAR, as we went old school.
We kind of transitioned into it as well. We kind of phased into it throughout the race.
And there is your podium celebration.
Lewis Hamilton, or in this case Quinn, the winner. Then Vitinho or Kobayashi in second, and then Ayrton Senna or Ricky in third. That to me now that Quinn will be part of the playoffs, I'm pretty sure.
I believe he is, yeah.
I think he's below the cut-off line coming into today, yet to score a point, which means we're doing that the first three races. But that was fantastic. I'm going to let you run through the order.
Well, there we are then. Lewis Hamilton, or, well, let's go through. Quinn wins this race from Vitinho in second. Risky ahead of Gareth. Jacko ahead of MK Bond. Jake, Newgarden, Baza, Kingan, Y Racer, Never, Indecisive, and Hasselager did not finish.
Yep. Well, obviously, we don't usually do this often, but how would you rate this race on a scale of 1 to 10?
That I will rate this race a solid 8.9 on my Richter scale of death. Carnage. It was great, of course. I enjoy bringing my Murray out slightly. I don't do it often, but there we are.
Kudos to the drivers as well for keeping it clean in their battle throughout the day as well.
Yeah, no real mistakes. The only guy who went off was Sebastian Vettel.
And that was due to that was just to a loose exit on the curb as well. So, yeah, that was a pretty good race. Not gonna lie, I enjoyed commentating on it over that one. And I'm pretty sure Liam did as well.
Yes, I did enjoy that, but I'll let you finish it off.
Yeah, so of course, that was the Kia Series in Throwback Week here at San Marino. I hope everybody that was watching enjoyed it, because we certainly did here in the booth, and I'm pretty sure the drivers did on the track as well. Of course, tune in on Thursday for the main event, the Cup Series. I'll be racing in it. I'm pretty sure Liam could be racing in it as well, because I've seen you race a few times this season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a load of throwback scenes, a load of action, a load of drama, just a typical Cup Series race. Look forward to it. Thursday, 7 PM. And from me, and Liam, and everybody here in the Kia Series for this week at San Marino, it's goodbye, and see you next week. It should be Liam back on main commentator. Well, I say main commentator, basically with a main commentator again today, but streaming is what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, that is it. We'll see you for the Kia Series next week, Tuesday, 7 PM. I'm not sure which track it is. For Cup Series Thursday at Imola, same track here today. And yeah, that's it. Goodbye.